Molweni fam. I hope you are keeping well. I'm I just popped in the office. I just had something to pick up and it's late at night, so I thought let me just do this quick video. Remember, the emergency training together with the Felix Driving School is basically here to inform, educate, and make sure that we bring awareness to you guys. I decided to make this short video about fractures. I'm sure it's going to be part 1 and part 2. So let me first begin with definition. So what is a fracture? According to medical terms, a fracture is a crack or a break in a bone. And in two different categories, or there are 2 types of fracture that I want us to be aware of. A fracture is known as a simple fracture. Some people refer to that one as a closed fracture. A is a complicated fracture or an open fracture. A closed fracture or a simple fracture, this is where the bone is actually completely fractured. The bone has broken, or the bone is broken completely, but the bone did not manage to pierce through the skin and show itself outside. So that's why it's actually known as a simple fracture. But we see, let's see, complicated fracture. This is where the bone is protruding outside the skin, so the bone has managed to pierce through the skin. There will be bleeding involved, and so it's quite complicated to actually manage. There's a possibility that even nerves are pinched or even cut through. So that's why this one is a bit complicated, and you gotta bring your A game in terms of managing it. But ndifuna nje sisenze awareness nje ngoku size kuyo nayo at a first aid kind of level, whereby warning endifuna uyazi into yobana if you come across someone whom you suspect that there is a fracture, please try and treat them in the position found. Don't try and straighten up that arm or straighten up that leg in its original position, because by doing so you are causing movement. That movement can, because me and you know that a bone, just like a glass bottle, when it's broken, it actually creates sharp edges. So those sharp edges from bones, from fractured bones, can actually potentially cut nerves, tendons, and ligaments, which may result into permanent paralysis. So we're gonna try and avoid that situation by making sure that we don't straighten up, we don't try and correct the shape of that arm, shape of that leg, and so on and so forth. Now, number 2, I want us to remember that if someone is just sick, like for instance they're dizzy, they've got a headache that has been persisting for a couple of days, they've got lower abdominal pains, and so on and so forth, that's just sickness that you and I from home can actually attempt to transport in our own vehicles. But when it comes to a suspected fracture, because we don't have x-ray eyes, right? So we might not be able to confirm it. But because a definition says a fracture is a crack or a break in a bone. So a bone may not be completely fractured, but because it's cracked, it means that there's a fracture. Why? Because remember, in a crack, there is a possibility that bone marrows, fatty acids from inside the bone can actually leak outside the bone, which can be mixed with bloodstream, which may cause a lot of complications. So I'm gonna get deep later on as to what complications I'm talking about. But we don't need anything else in your bloodstream, like fatty acids, like air bubbles, like water, and so on and so forth, because that can cause heart attacks, strokes, DVT, which is deep vein thrombosis, and so on and so forth. So in this part 1 of the video, we're going to just focus on fractures, because indlela zethu, they're not the best in the country. Okay, there's potholes that you have to dodge on your way to hospital. So the movement, transporting in your own vehicle, that movement can cause more damage. So that's why I'm advising if you can, try and call an ambulance transport in a way that it is going to be safe and suitable for that patient to reach the hospital, and then they will be x-rayed, and then they will be able to confirm whether there's a fracture or not. So I guess and then remember to follow the full videos, the full episodes on our first Facebook page, which is Intsimi Yolwazi Felix Driving School. We also have a TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube account where you can follow us in Yolwazi / Felix Driving School. This is an awareness education. We also bringing you occupational health and safety trainings as well as comprehensive defensive driver training. Apho simqala phansi umuntu kwi-learner's license siye kwi-driver's license oko simtrainer apho ne mandiqambe apho ke namhlanje, and hopefully that you are going to see another part or a second part of this particular topic whereby we're going to extend as to the topic. Okanamhlanje ke manje ndithi good night, nilale kakuhle, and then we'll see you on the next video. Bye.